Hey guys, Wrestling Road Diaries 3 is now up for pre-order. It's shipping November 5th. Go get yourself a free DVD cover card signed by myself, Kikutaro, and Grado while supplies last. This is the documentary that dissects comedy in wrestling. You're gonna love it. Please order, enjoy it. But for now, enjoy the show.
This is The Art of Wrestling with professional wrestler Colt Cabana.
And here we go. All right, guys, come on in. Sit down. You're about to do it. You're about to listen to The Art of Wrestling, a professional wrestling podcast. It's a life podcast. It's a personal journal. It's an entryway to the minds and souls, the hearts and lives of the people involved in the world of professional wrestling. I am your host. My name is Colt Cabana. I'm a producer. I'm a movie producer. I'm also a movie marketer. I'm a movie shipping house. I'm a movie packer. I'm Hollywood, guys. Basically, I'm Chicago Hollywood. Most importantly, though, I am a professional wrestler, and I am sitting here live in my studio apartment in Chicago, Illinois. Before we go any further, this is a fan-supported and listener-supported podcast supported by people just like you. We give it to you free of charge every single Thursday on ColtCabana.com, iTunes, SoundCloud, wherever you get your podcasts from. A couple great ways that you can support, rate, review, and subscribe on iTunes. Tell a friend, tweet it out, Facebook it out. Best way that you can support, though, ColtMerch.com, DigitalColt.com, t-shirts, buttons, pictures, posters, DVDs, digital downloads, and, of course, the Wrestling Road Diaries. 1 and 2 are up now, and 3 is up for pre-order, and then I'm shipping it out. ColtMerch.com, DigitalColt.com. Can you tell I'm excited? Can you tell? This is the announcement we've been waiting for. I put it on the Billy Gunn episode. I was like, A, Billy Gunn, maybe a star. Maybe we'll attract some people to listen to this. B, this was such a good episode. He is great in this episode. This is an episode, you know, every now and then I have ones that are like, this is what this show is all about. And this is what this show is all about because not like he has anything to hide. It's just, but he, you know, he opens up. He's an opener. And this is the platform to do it. I'll talk about that in just a second, though. But right, have a nice little big guest for the pre-order of the Wrestling Road Diaries, and then a couple weeks after I start shipping, then I got some more good ones for you. But I got the hard copy. Jack Ettinger handed over the hard copy. I sent it over to the production house, and they are on their way back to my apartment to be shipped out. So many great things. I mean, you're gonna see all these clips. I'm working on a trailer. We're gonna get it all done. If any of you guys out there, you know any good ways for me to promote, maybe a little help, I'm always looking for some feedback. I'm heading to Los Angeles November 14th, 15th, and 16th to do a little media for it. So this is an exciting time for me. I'm excited. The movie, I stand by it. It's so good. You guys are going to love it. Comedy and wrestling. Speaking of comedy and wrestling, Marty and I are still doing the night before Thanksgiving at the North Bar in Chicago. Unprofessionalwrestling.brownpapertickets.com is the website to grab your tickets there. It's just a tenner. We always keep those shows nice and cheap for you guys, and hopefully we're going to have some other people with us doing a little comedy with us too. That's always exciting. I guess I talked about mostly what I'm going to talk about. Billy Gunn's on the show. It was a great episode. He's really great. One thing we didn't get into, and you know, this is how I do the show. Is, you know, I always kind of have a couple little things in my mind that maybe we'll get to that I want to talk about, but it kind of goes where it goes, and that's the whole point of it. And yeah, I did want to talk about Ass Man. I wanted to talk about the song. I wanted to know all his feelings. I wanted to know everything about it. And then as we start talking, it just didn't get to it. So maybe we'll have him back on a live show, which would be a lot of fun, and I could finally get that answer. I'm sure he's talked about it. I know he's talked about it a million times on different shows. But the fun is that it's me talking to him about it. I mean, and I don't know the answer because I don't listen to the other shows. But Ass Man, right? I mean, if only, spoiler, we don't get into Ass Man. Spirits up a little bit from last week. You know, last week I just said I was bummed, and I was bummed, and I might be a little bit this week. And I appreciate guys who wrote to me, but like the point wasn't to get you to write to me. You know, one guy thought I was stopping the podcast. He was like, "It's cool if you want to stop the podcast," because I know I said I was looking for a change of pace or something. But when I say that, I just mean something to spice up the idea of all of what I'm doing. I have no intentions of stopping the podcast. I enjoy the life that I'm living. Sometimes you find yourself in a little bit of a rut, so you're like, I need something. I got to do something. I don't know what it is. I'm sure I'll find it. I'm sure something will come to me. Maybe it's the idea of trying to promote this Road Diaries, and I'm going to be doing a lot of different podcasts and a lot of fun shows and a lot of stuff. So maybe that'll kind of put a nice little harumph in the back of my pants, if you will. But this show's always been about me just kind of being honest and saying my emotions and wearing my emotions on my sleeve. So that's just kind of where I was last week. Maybe I'm a little better this week. I think so. I've been kind of busy, so I haven't really had time to lurk around. 1 Hour Tees, we just did a photo shoot. For years, I've been the cartoon guy on the billboards in Chicago. We're making the big change. I'm excited. No longer will I be the cartoon guy on the billboards. I will be the me guy. Just me, my picture, IRL in real life. This past week, I had some fun shows. I wrestled Chicago and Detroit for Ring of Honor. Always fun. Wrestling in Chicago, hometown boy. Can't go wrong with that. And then I wrestled for this new guy in Austin, Texas. Of course, we all know Austin. It's a little eclectic. Keep Austin weird. Kind of goes hand in hand with the idea of independent wrestling. Wrestle Circus. I wrestled for Wrestle Circus. It was this dude Al's very first show, and he fucking nailed it. It was so much fun. It was a great roster. It was in weird Austin. You go outside, and there's a homeless shelter, but they're all cool. They're talking, maybe a little off the rocker a little bit, but I felt safe in the idea of being around a homeless shelter and homeless people all around the building asking for money. I felt good, though, and I felt good wrestling on this show, and it was a great hodgepodge of just all different types of people, and it kind of made me happy as Tony Nese was on the show. Tony, a guy I've championed for years now, and he did this show, and then the next day, he flew right out to Raw. And it just makes me love the idea that some of these guys can do this, that option is there for some of these guys. You know, yesterday or today, whatever you're reading this, an article in Sports Illustrated came out that I wrote. It was a love letter to the independents. Justin Barrasso gave me the opportunity to kind of write a thing. I wrote a thing, and in it, you know, I kind of talk about just like how much the whole thing has changed over the years. I've been doing independent wrestling since the 1990s. So I've seen these phases where they hate the independent guys. They love the independent guys. They want to sign them. They want to bury them. And it's nice to see the open-mindedness right about now. I'm sure it'll change in a week and a half. But right now, a guy like Tony Nese can be on the show. A guy like Drew Gulak can be on the show. A guy like James Ellsworth can be on the show, and then allow him to go out there and make some money. And like, if they want to give him a super push, I'm sure they'll sign him up like they did Colin Delaney. If they don't want to, you know, he gets to capitalize on a couple of minutes of TV fame, or a couple of weeks, or a couple of years, whatever it might be. Check out that article on Sports Illustrated. I'm sure I put on my social media. Not much of a reader, but I enjoyed writing that little piece. All right, we do have a song of the week this week, and it's brought to you by 54club.com. They're finally giving you an option to never have to go out, never have to go shopping, never have to drive from store to store, never have to sift through outfits and changing rooms. It's just you, where you live. They're shipping it to you. No one wants to go shopping. I don't want to shop. 54 is solving all these problems. They're an LA-based brand, and they are a brand. You can't get these clothes in stores. You got to be a member, but all you got to do is go to 54club.com, sign up. It's $60 a month. It's free shipping. It's super easy. They got different styles for different occasions. You can choose from classic, casual, forward, or mix. Maybe for a date, a meeting, a vacation, a wrestling convention, maybe a wrestling show. 54 will make you look good. Again, just head on over to 54club.com. Use the offer code COLT at signup. This will get you 50% off your first month of 54 Club packages. Guys, they've been sponsoring this show a lot. Obviously means you guys are using it. Obviously means you guys are looking good. So if you're not using it, give it a try. Again, use the promo code COLT. It'll get you half off your first month. That deal ends in October, so go to FIVEFOURCLUB.com now. Start looking good. Song of the week was suggested to me on Twitter by Dave Higgins. It's the band Deuterus. Follow them on Twitter at the Deuterus. They're on Facebook /Deuterus Rock. Direct from Dayton, Ohio, singing in a very familiar key. It's the Macho Man. Enjoy. We'll be back with Billy Gunn. Hey guys, we're also sponsored today by ZipRecruiter, that NWL group that I was talking about last week out of Kansas City. They just posted an ad on ZipRecruiter looking for a play-by-play announcer. So we got the wrestling tie-in. It works in the wrestling world. They're using ZipRecruiter, and you should too if you're looking for the best job candidates. Are you a place or a business or a thing and you need to hire? Posting your job in one place isn't enough to find quality candidates. You need to post your job on all of the job sites, and now you can with ZipRecruiter.com. With one click, send your job to 100+ job sites, including social media like Twitter and Facebook. No juggling emails or calls to your office. Quickly screen your candidates, rate them, and then hire the right person. It's been used by over 1 million businesses. Pro Wrestling Tees, we got great people working over there like Scrump and Frank and the rest of the gang, but if we ever need someone else that's pretty awesome, now we know the place to go. Right now, my listeners can post jobs on ZipRecruiter for free by going to ZipRecruiter.com/first. That's ZipRecruiter.com/first. In case you missed it, it's ZipRecruiter.com/first. let's set the picture. You and I, a beautiful night in Texas.
Yes.
Which is fitting because you, of course, were a
Went to college
Gunn.
here.
Oh.
Yeah.
We didn't.
Yeah, I was going to cut you off before you went. You were born and raised here. And
if 1995 WWF taught me anything.
This is smoking gun territory.
Right. Did you guys find yourself like crazy over, like specifically in Texas?
A little, I would say a little bit more than other places because let's face it, the cowboy thing back then really just wasn't a hit. I think it's more acceptable now. I don't know if acceptable is the right word, but more like with the PBR and all this bull riding stuff on TV and all that. Everybody's a little bit more into it.
So when you were in it, you thought it was kind of cheesy?
No, not at all. No, not at all. So when we did the thing about that is that. Like back then, it was whenever you saw cowboys or you saw the I guess the Texas roughneck guy on TV, they were always had black hats and like spitting stuff, and they were just all nasty. That's what was Vince's vision of me and Bart.
Really?
Was
a la Ron Bass.
No, yeah, but it wasn't. But our thing was he wanted us to come. He's never had any kind of like nice, good guy cowboy characters. So when he saw us, of course, we went and bought everything new from hat to shoes, you know, so we were like the sparkling teeth, ping, kind of thing. So that was his vision.
But because it was a national thing, I just find it, I guess, kind of weird that because it was a national product and it was either like you're over everywhere or nowhere. But like the gimmick was kind of like territory wise, where like, hey, this would be really over in the South, but maybe not really over in the North.
But it took some people a little while. I mean, we were pretty much accepted all because even now you're even in WWE or whatever it was at the time. It's a character. And people go, oh, you're just characters. Not really knowing the background that I really was. That was what I did my whole life until I got into wrestling. I was a cowboy. So
you were a cowboy.
I was like a real life one.
Really?
I swear I went to college on a rodeo scholarship.
Really?
Yeah.
God, I didn't know that.
Are you the only person on planet Earth that doesn't know that?
Okay, so because I don't do.
Yeah, I'm
but right, and that's kind of I wanted to get into like something else before we get into that. Is that like you're like notoriously have done like a lot of these interviews, like like probably shoot interviews, like, right?
No, so like podcasts and stuff, I haven't done any really. Like when I got fired the first time, I did a bunch, but I was in a very bad place, and they were all really not very good, but they were shoot interviews. They weren't like this. It was like, here, I'm going to set up a camera. I'm going to ask you a bunch of questions, and please bury everybody that you can. And I went, okay.
Yeah. Well, I guess I kind of wanted to see like where I guess your head was a different place, but like how you looked at that business model where you're just like, I'll take any money anyone wants to give me, or
at the time, I guess so. And somebody was giving me a platform to vent my frustrations. That was my doing, not anybody else's.
So you did. You were looking for an outlet to
sure, of course I was.
How come it was the shoot interview? I wonder, is that
because I didn't know any better? Yeah. I didn't at the time. When I got released in 04, there was never really like this platform where you could let's sit down and talk and like the whole world will hear it. No, we're gonna sit down and make a video that if you come to an indie show you can buy it.
Right? Yeah. Yeah. And so I guess that makes a lot of sense. That was the only thing, is that just that shoot interview.
Yeah.
And I guess even if you go on the radio, like only that people in the market would hear it, and those guys aren't going to give you a long form opportunity,
and they're not giving you the questions that you really want to vent on.
Right.
So they're just going straight. Hey, so how was your time there? And this, it was never the let's get to the meat of the problem.
Do you ever watch shoot interviews?
I don't.
I can't. Like, I love podcasts, but for some reason I couldn't get into shoot
I'm kind of
interviews.
into the podcast listening too, because some of them are very interesting. I mean, they are.
Yeah.
But I'm with you. I never, because I don't have the patience to sit there and go,
3 hours.
Let me sit here and watch somebody rant and rave.
Yeah. Oh, here's a good question that came up that I'm curious about. What did you? So like, I'm like, were you a guy that ever like watched like total? Were you studious about wrestling and was like really like studied something or watched like a shitload of something, or is there stuff that you would get that you would like totally?
Like when?
Does
like
that make
when?
sense?
It does, but give me a win.
I don't even know. Anytime. Like,
okay, so I didn't start actually doing that until I got into the business.
Right.
Like, because until
I understand that you weren't a fan. That's been known.
Yeah. Okay. Yes, I wasn't a fan, and that wasn't me. And I've never been really one to study because I don't have the patience for it.
Okay.
I want somebody just to show it to me, and I can do it. Like, that's what was the good, kind of the good thing about me, and I don't mean to be braggy or nothing like that.
But you're the best.
No.
I like brag, but
I won't go. No. I'm not going to go that far. But I pick stuff up really easy because I don't know why. This I picked up really. I'm not talking psychology wise and that kind of everything that you have. There's no way you could pick up what we do like that fast. But move wise and athletically, it came really easy.
But let's just say my generation. And I don't know your generation. Maybe you could tell me right? I know Daniel Bryan. I know Cesaro. I know Tyson Kidd. They're always watching New Japan. They're always watching these. They're like,
I'm not that.
And you never were.
No. Never. The only time I watched that is when Jamie Noble used to make me watch it.
Okay.
He used to make me watch Pride and stuff like that.
And I guess I was kind of curious as the guys that dove in. I think Bret Hart was a guy like that, right?
Yeah. So I was like the last part of Hogan's big run here. So late 92, 93, I think, is when I came into WWE. And that was the only thing I ever did. Mm-hmm. Like, I didn't run the indies and all that other stuff before I got into WWE. It was just school, kind of a little stuff with Eddie Mansfield, which taught me absolutely zero, and then into WWE.
But I'm saying as you were in it and you were learning on the job, you're never. But were there guys that like that?
There was some guy, and I guess maybe that's not part of maybe a bad thing for me. But for me, it was, I don't have the patience for it. Just didn't. I don't want to sit there and watch a bunch of wrestling when I can go out there, because it's not, for me, it wasn't teaching me anything, because I'm very, very high strung and I just want to go out and do it. Just show me and let me do it.
Did you find yourself watching? I'm a big live show watcher.
I do. So I'm, and especially now that I've got the coaching thing bug, I like to watch just to see where everybody's at. But the thing about me being out here is I'm very WWE. I just am. That's all I've ever known.
Yeah.
So when I watch other people do stuff, I'm going, oh, that'd never fly up there. that would never work. You can't do that out here.
Do you find, because I think I said this to you before, do you find yourself taking a step back and being like, oh, but I'm not there? So you can do whatever the fuck you want to do.
So sometimes I do that.
Yeah.
And sometimes I go, it just doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
So if it doesn't make sense to me, and I try to separate myself from watching. I like to watch as a fan because I like to see if they keep my attention.
Right.
And that happens within the first couple minutes.
Yep.
And if you lose me, I'm out. I just go to the back and then wait for the next one, because it's not making sense to start. So you lose me, and I don't have any interest in it.
Eddie Mansfield was what? That was Texas.
No, that was in Florida, because he had actually had run of Universal Studios first, way before TNA did. He had use of, they literally gave him the entire park.
So that was a thing before TNA, huh?
It wasn't such a thing as it was him just filming stuff and shooting it overseas.
Or WCW did it too, though, didn't they? I think they used Universal for those.
But they just used sound stages. They never got to have the parks like when we did the cowboy thing. They had a Western theme there. They had horses that had two horses that looked exactly like. They had a whole Western stage set up. So we got to run through the whole thing and do our things and do vignettes that way.
Oh, okay.
So you know what I mean? So it was kind of stuff like that.
Or he put you to work and you were doing 2 shows a day.
Yeah.
This is how you taking the money
to pay for me to wrestle for him.
Yeah, right. Exactly. And that's this is how you pay your dues, kid.
Yeah.
Okay. So, but born in Florida, though, you said today.
Yes. Yeah. Everybody always goes, well, how can you be a cowboy and be from Florida? Well, they're all over the country. They're not just localized here in Texas or Oklahoma. Mm-hmm.
So give me the short story. Born in Orlando.
Born in Orlando. My dad always had horses and stuff, so I was in, I could probably ride before. He had a horse that was on voice command and stuff, so I could just sit on him. He could tell him what to do and stuff like that. And then I just more or less, I had my own.
So he had his own stable?
Yes. but we didn't board a bunch. We only had like 4 or 5 horses, our own, really. Then I started doing that. Then I found that I actually liked to ride bulls and stuff like that. So I started doing that and getting into stuff like that. And then I started high school rodeoing and then went to college and then went pro and then I was done.
I'm from the suburbs of Chicago, and we have like a golf team and a tennis team.
Yeah.
You're telling me there's a high school rodeo team?
Yes, literally you could find, like, it was Florida High School Rodeo Association.
What?
Yes, yeah, and I bet Chicago has one too.
I mean,
Sure.
not my schools.
But it's not. So it's not localized to the school. It's a organization that if you're in high school, that it's you know what I mean.
I like the idea of you.
So it's not your school. Like your school has a football team. It's the Oviedo Lions.
That's what I was saying.
It's not. Hey, Oviedo has its own rodeo team.
I like the idea of you with a varsity jacket with the
horse on it. No, like Texas does and stuff like that, to where it's really popular.
Is that like so in high school also you had to like football was free, tennis was free, baseball was free, but you had to pay for hockey. Because it was, I don't know, it was more to do. Was that like you kind of had like some of the richer people had to pay?
No, it was like entry fee wise.
Okay.
So if Florida, the association, Florida High School Rodeo Association, they put on a show, it's like $20 entry fees. That pays for buckles and stuff that you win and trophies. It's not money that was given to us.
But do they have horse riding practice?
They have everything. They had everything from calf roping, they had steer wrestling, they had horse riding.
And those were free to practice?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you could have your own. There's a bunch of people around Florida that had their own pins and stuff like that.
So did you come
You're so lost when we're talking about this, aren't you?
It's not lost, but it's intriguing. It's a different world that I know nothing about.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I think I would say, like, did you guys have money? Because in my head, someone who's got horses and stables, like, you got.
No, you don't have to have. No, I didn't come from money at all.
At all.
No, at all.
Okay, you gave me a quick shutdown of that.
Yeah,
one.
no. It's you don't have to have. That's.
I think I was thinking of equestrian.
Yeah, so you're thinking like
Polo.
no. Yeah, exactly. Well, when people think of horses and stuff like that aren't really in it, that's the first thing that comes to mind. Oh, Kentucky Derby and all those horses that have like 50 people that take care of them, and you have to, they're flown everywhere.
So you were a poor kid. Poor?
No, I wouldn't say poor, but not,
Right.
Yeah, not.
You didn't have it all.
Well, I grew up in a single wide, and then as soon as I left to go to college, my dad built a hell of a house. Thanks, Dad.
Who was it? You?
Just me and my dad.
Just you and your dad?
Yeah, my sister lived with my mom.
And they split at an early age, or?
Yeah, like when I was 7.
Right.
So I went with my dad, and my sister went with my mom.
Okay. And do you have a relationship with your mom or your sister?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I know. Yeah, my dad passed in 2001, and then my mom lives about 45 minutes from my house, so we hang out. We just took our dogs to my wife. Is a dog fanatic. I am too, kind of. We have 6 dogs, so we just had a puppy. So we took it to puppy school, and my wife rescued 3 of them, and my mom took one, so we took them to puppy school together.
That's
kind of what we, mom and son puppy school.
I'd love to see you at puppy. I'd love to see you at everything. It's kind of funny. You're a giant cartoon character. Okay, so you go to school, you go to college. You get a scholarship, which is nice that's probably how Dad could afford the big,
yeah.
And then, okay, so how does we've had this conversation before? I remember.
Yeah, so we'll
hate wrestling, just not into it.
Yeah, I wasn't into it, but wasn't much of a fan. I would bypass it, watching TV.
Did it ever come up? Did friends ever watch it, or it just wasn't in your universe?
It just wasn't in my thing. There's just
I don't know why
nothing
I said
about
universe.
it.
I'm so sorry.
No, it was never. It was because I guess then I just felt like I'm a real athlete.
Yeah,
I'm top shelf athlete.
Well, did people look at you in my head, in my Northern Yankee head? I don't see. Horse riding as an athlete. You know what I'm saying?
No. But everything else I did before, I did other things with that.
You were meaning what?
Meaning football, baseball, everything.
Okay.
So, and hence that led me to wrestling, which in turn, I've been doing it probably 25, 26 years now, and I still learn every day. When I played other sports, not that it just seemed like I topped out really fast. Because I was really good at them. So, and I could only and I felt there was, and there probably wasn't. I mean, I could have went to the NFL. Not that I could have. I said, if I'd have put my mind to it, I probably would have went there. But it just wasn't where I was at the time. It was just I've been riding horses and doing that. I played sports only because when I walked in the school, it was like, oh, bingo,
right?
Got you,
Yeah,
I got you, or I have to have you, right? So I was good at all that stuff. And then again, I'm not trying to blow my own horn here, but it became really easy to me.
Well, I played college football and I played sports growing up my whole life. And yeah, when I walked into wrestling school, and I was obsessed with wrestling as a kid, so like. My trainer was like, well, you were a natural, you picked up the footing and the right and the moves, obviously not the psychology. So I understand your idea of saying that
exactly.
You pick it right
if you have good feet and you're athletic, I feel that you could be pretty good. It's just then learning all the other stuff and having a little bit of charisma that somebody actually, that you actually want to entertain people.
Did you have charisma as a child, teenager?
I did. I kind of was an attention getter. Like if I walked in a place or something, not to the extent that I am now, right. but yeah, I was would walk a little bit more upright and go, hey, everybody look at me a little bit.
Does that come with always being like one of the bigger dudes?
I think it does, because people always look and go, geez, you're big, or tall or whatever at the time when I was.
It's usually one of the other ways. Like I remember as a kid, the tallest kid in our class, he was always like the hunch over, and he didn't want to be looked at.
Yeah, he didn't want to be, because you go, oh, everybody's looking at me.
Right.
No, I wanted everybody. I want you to look at me.
Take a couple more inches. Actually. Yeah. Okay, so then wrestling comes how?
Yes. Wrestling comes by me running into Ron and Don Harris, who I knew. They are from Apopka in Florida, which is a couple.
I'm going to stop you. Sorry. So did you graduate college?
No. No, I just left college. It just, school wasn't me.
Okay.
So I left there and went to California, where I went pro and then kind of went pro bull riding.
Okay.
And then started building houses with my uncle. And then I came back after I got done with that. It just wasn't something happened to where it wasn't fun for me anymore. And like even today, when I go before I wrestle, I have butterflies and all jacked up because I love what I do. That was not, I didn't have that feeling. I used to, then I didn't have it anymore, and I just went, nope, I can't do this anymore. You can't, when you're messing around with 2,000-pound animals, you can't have that feeling because bad things happen.
Sure.
So I just left that and went, I'm going to go back to Florida.
So, and kind of lost in your life a little bit, would you say?
Yeah, I would say that. I would say like in between not knowing what to do, because all I had was my truck, a big black paper bag full of my clothes, or a trash bag full of my clothes, and my dog.
And living where?
Nowhere.
Come on.
No.
You just meant as on the drive home.
Yeah, like I lived with my aunt and uncle out there, and then I left there coming back to Florida going, well, I guess my dad will let me stay with him, right? But I didn't. I came and stayed with a friend that I grew up with.
Okay, and you're like planning. And is this when you meet Ron and Don?
So I'm in the buddy of mine that I grew up with. He bought a gym. So he said, well, why don't you just come work there while you're in between this midlife crisis or life crisis that you don't know what to do with your life? Because I had no vision. I had no drive at the time for some reason, because there was nowhere for me to go.
At that time, what were your options? Like, what were you thinking? Maybe
nothing. No, I didn't have my brain just went, well, just live it day by day. And just, that's really what I was doing, living day by day, not having any. I went, oh, this will work for now. I'll just work at the gym.
Because my brain, I don't know if I could. Some people can work that way.
Yeah.
Was that like peaceful for you, or were you like stressing that you maybe need something?
No, I wasn't stressing at all.
Okay,
it was fine for me.
Just young.
Yeah, just I had really no responsibility yet.
Yeah,
so I don't really care.
Right.
So that's what I do,
right?
And then when I was working in the gym, Ron and Don Harris walked in there, and I went, "Oh my God, what are you guys doing?" They go, "Hey, we're working at Smoky Mountain and all these little territories," and I went, and just went, "Really? That's kind of funny," but that's what they were doing.
But you said, "What are you guys doing?" Just because you were in awe of just the way they looked.
Well, they were not as big as they are now. They were tall, but they were like really skinny. Not really skinny, but they weren't what.
I kind of remember them in Smoky Mountain.
They were what were they?
The Bruise
Brothers.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So it was kind of
but
that.
They had a scary look with that hair, right?
Not the Bruise, not when they were doing that. They were like the tall, good-looking, kind of moving around, kind of like the Barry Windham-ish. But the young Barry Windham-ish. They didn't start doing that until they went to WWE with the hair and the crazy.
I felt in ECW they were like that-ish. They did little bit in ECW.
A little bit. I think once they left Smoky Mountain, they changed the whole outlook.
Okay.
Because that wasn't flying for them anymore.
So two big Barry Windham looking dudes come in,
and I knew them from they lived 2 towns over from me, and we knew each other from that. And so when I ran into them again, I just it was just, hey, what are you guys doing? Hey, what are you doing? It's good to see you, kind of a thing. We're wrestling, and I went, oh, how's that going for you?
Right. Nerds.
So, yeah,
you nerds.
Yeah. Wow. And then they just, every time I saw them, they would just ask me if I wanted to try it or do it. And then it happened.
Well, out of what? Just like, fine.
Kind of that, because they kept asking me, they go, have you ever gave it like a shot or anything? I go, I don't even know what you're talking about,
right.
let alone give it a shot.
Yeah. Because
they knew I was athletic and kind of, plus I was working out now, so I was getting some size to me and could move and stuff. And they went, you might be pretty good at this. And I went, well, we'll never know now, will we? And then,
but there's a switch. There is a switch.
There is a switch. The day that they took me in to do it, it popped.
But why did you go?
I don't know. Because
it seems like you were really against it.
Because I wasn't really against it as much as, like I said, I had no direction. What did I have to lose? Like, what was I going to do? We're going to go do a bunch of fake stuff.
Yeah.
And we're going to like play with each other for a little while and then we're done. But as you know, back then, a little different, even though they knew me, they kicked the shit out of me.
So they took you, and then they took you into a ring, and we're like, I'll show you. They didn't take you to a show. I thought they'd like, let's take you to a show so you can see what it's like.
No, they took me straight from, yes, I want to, okay, finally I'll try it, to beating the shit out of me.
And who was in the ring while you're...
Those two and me.
That's
getting
it?
beat up, yes. Not just getting hit with shit from everywhere. Like just, I thought the ceiling was coming down on me.
But a ring was set up.
Yeah, it was. They had a little place they could go because they were in the business, so they knew everybody in Florida that would have something. It was like a metal shed, about as big as this room right here, and a ring in the middle of it.
So weird.
And it was hot. It is very weird. It's like, and you're making me look at it in a different, like I've never really went into it this in depth.
Yeah.
Going, wow, that is really different. It's weird.
Like why they're just like you would find love in getting the shit kicked out of you?
Yes.
Did you?
I did. Because when we did it and we were done and I just got tired of getting hailed upon with feet and fistuses and stuff, and I went, there is no way this is it. And they went, yeah, what are you talking about? And I went, oh my God, I'm in. I'm in. Because I liked physical. I liked being like that. Not that I'm a fighter by no means, but being physical, and then kind of now I go from that to start watching going, okay, I don't get it, but I get it.
Well, so obviously you did that, and then you have to then go to, were you like, can we go watch a match or see what a match is?
No, not at all. Because I wasn't at that. Because you have to understand, I don't know nothing. Like, I literally know nothing at this point.
Right.
Like, it's just, I can't even understand. Like, this is like when I bypass it and watch it for just a second, that's not what I see. I don't see what they're doing to me there.
Well, say that again.
So when you watch on TV,
right,
and what they did to me was not the same thing. Like I thought, I was the guy that everybody would hate now. Going, really, that fake stuff, and you're like, you're being silly.
So then that first time they give you
they give me a beat down, and I'm like, that's not what I see on TV.
Gotcha.
And so now it's kind of like going, okay, I'm trying to figure out what's how come, why are you beating me up first? And that's not what I see on TV, because the stuff I see on TV is fake, right? Mm. And they go, no, this is what you do. And I went, I'm in. I'm in.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, literally, so then just what? Like, you just like, let's go to practice tomorrow?
I went, okay, when can I go again? When can we do this again? When, like, they would, they weren't in town that long. They just came back because their mother still lived in Apopka, which was right down from where the training, the gym was. So every time they would come back, I would have them take me. Now I'm fully involved. Now I'm watching, but I'm not watching too much because I don't know what I'm watching.
Right.
So I don't have a clue. I don't know what I'm watching and why I would be watching it. If that makes sense.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah. So I would just have them do stuff, and then they weren't coming in town enough. So now I've got to go somewhere where I can do this. And like I have to do this all the time now because I'm one of those people that once I get my teeth in something, I got to go.
So then where did you?
I went to Eddie Mansfield had a school that nobody went to except for Bart. Oh. So this is where the me and Bart thing come.
Tell me Eddie Mans, because I don't. His history
he was
is
a
what?
Big deal in Texas, so you have heard of him from Texas. Of course,
but I can't place why I know or what he ran or.
He was I don't know because I really don't even know.
Okay,
because I really never cared that much about it.
But he's definitely a name I've heard.
Yes, Eddie Mansfield. He was the one that went on TV the first time and
maybe
and exposed that. That's what he was known for.
Also, this is an audio podcast, and nobody knows.
So I'm kind of just doing it towards you, so you can either give me the Iggy of yes, say it, or no, say it.
Just a little blade ski.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. Right. So that's what he did. Right. He went on and exposed that on like when you don't do that at all. So now he's completely blackballed. But me, being a dummy, doesn't know that.
Sure.
Like I don't know that. I don't know what you're talking about. I just want to do this a bunch. And I needed a place to do it. So I run into Eddie. Ron and Don actually hooked me up with him. So he just went, Bart was there. Me and Bart were the only ones that really wanted to do it. So now how we're doing this, because he knows less than I do.
Yeah.
But we know about the same, like nothing, except that he wrestled in high school, so he knows some of that part.
Did he like wrestling?
He did.
Okay.
I think he did. And he watched it a little bit, but we were kind of the same. That's why we kind of clicked. So we would watch stuff. We would get tapes of wrestling, watch where somebody would do a cool spot. We would both do it in the ring. So now
you can probably do it well because you're good athletes. And
yeah, so we do it, and we would film ourselves doing it and try to compare, does it look like what we saw on TV? And, of course, it doesn't, but it's similar. It's similar to what they were doing. So, and that's all we did all the time. And then we just kind of went, well, if we want to do this, I guess we could be a tag team, whatever that means. And then we'll just do the cowboy, because I go, well, let's do that because I'm really familiar with that. So we're not really searching to learn a character. We can do this that I'm really familiar with. We'll just learn how to wrestle now.
Was he a bit of a cowboy?
No, not really, but he was willing to just give it a try. And it worked for us.
And then what? It was just some Eddie Mansfields, and then Vince is like,
we just did. So we do some stuff with Eddie Mansfield. We kind of just start doing some tag stuff and kind of figuring out, not knowing what we're still doing. And then Blackjack Mulligan comes into the picture.
What's the promotion that is?
IWF.
Okay.
IWF.
All right.
So we do that, and then Blackjack Mulligan comes into the picture and kind of takes us under his wing because he was a cowboy kind of thing.
Okay. But into IWF.
Yes.
Who were like on top of IWF at the time? Because is that like a dying territory? Because what year was that? 90 or?
Yeah, the late 80s, 90s, coming to the 90s.
So it's is it trying to be a territory, or is it
not a territory as much as just a company?
Okay.
But he's San Antonio World Champion.
But he's trying to make a living off of it.
He is, because he's doing some TV stuff at Universal, shooting it, selling it overseas.
Okay, so who's on top over there?
Mondo Clean.
All right.
He was there. Thunder and Lightning, which was the one of them, Jeff Farmer.
Jumpin' Jeff Farmer from the
fake Sting.
Oh, damn it.
No.
Not the worst promo ever. You know that one?
No.
Okay. You've seen that, yeah?
No, I don't think so.
Yep. Hey, it's Jumpin' Jeff Farmer. You know that one or no? Oh, God. I'll send you that link.
No.
That's the best.
No.
You after I send it to you, you'll be like, oh, yeah.
But they were in WCW for a little while. They were on top, and Mulligan would come in, and some of the old timers, like some of the old time guys would come through there and do their thing.
Okay.
But then Mulligan went, "Why are you here?"
Right.
So he got a hold of Dave Hebner, who was still running the live events up there, and asked if they would meet us, and they did. They came to a show in Orlando. They got us back there. We met them, and then went and watched the show, and then Dave just passed their information along, and they called us and gave us a tryout.
So I like the idea of that, like, you didn't care about wrestling, so like you don't know who Vince McMahon probably is.
Nope.
So like going into a meeting, are you just like, oh hey man, or like,
No. So now by the time we get to our tryout, we know
you
who
do
he
know,
is.
you do know.
But it's not like how I know him now. It's just, oh, you own this.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. So we go in after our tryout, and they go, hey, we're interested in hiring you.
But are the nerves the same as like my nerves of being like 9 years on the independents and then like being like,
No.
this is what I'm.
Because I still don't know anything about wrestling.
Okay, that's what I'm saying.
I just know a bunch of moves.
So it's a little lax for you.
It is a little lax because you'll like this. So when they bring us in the office to talk, J.J. Dillon's still doing stuff there, and Vince is standing there. They go, hey, we liked what you guys did. We're thinking about hiring you. I go, hold on. I said, I have a job during the week. Do I do this on the weekends? and he laughed at me, and he goes, no, I think you might be all right.
Yeah.
So
what was your job?
So I would was hanging drywall and metal framing at the Swan and Dolphin out at the hotel. They're two huge hotels. I worked for Mater. It's Mater Southeast, which was a construction company.
And were you like, this is a real good gig, Mr. McMahon, so I don't want to give this up if this won't lead to anything?
No, because I'm still that dumb. You don't understand. I'm trying to tell you how dumb I was to this business. I don't know anything.
You didn't know the tour schedule or
I didn't know that they went all over the world and stuff. I didn't know all that. I just figured, hey, I just saw it on TV.
Yeah.
Like, is that what I'm going to do? Or, like, I literally am so naive to this. It's not even fun. I can't even explain how it is.
So when those guys, like you were saying, the new guys that we would hate you now.
Yeah.
Were you hated? And
I don't think I was hated because we came in so green that they put us with the head shrinker, Salmon Jr., and they literally took us by the hand. It was like, okay, first day of school. School's in.
But they have to like you,
and they did.
Okay,
we weren't
cocky.
We were very that was not even close being in our repertoire. We were still very innocent and very respectful, and they all because when we got to the building, we went and sat down and waited for everybody just to kind of we weren't irritants, but if we saw somebody would say hello, and the jokes started flying about, everybody said, oh, I guess we're gonna have to start putting you guys over kind of thing. Mm-hmm. And the jokes, but we didn't really understand at the time. But then once they got to know and went, okay, so they're not so, and I think that helped. I think not knowing much about the business, they went, oh, this might be kind of cool just to kind of see what we can do and how they'll learn. And we listened to everything because we didn't know anything. So that's what we figured. That we did know. Hey, you keep your mouth shut, your ears wide ass open, and do what you're told.
What were the rules? Like, what were the? I guess not the rules. Like, so, like when I was like, right, you have to go to the building and you have to like get dressed and get ready to roll around. I don't think it was like that back then. You would know more than I would. Like, so in saying like you'd get to the building and you'd sit down. So is that like what was expected of the younger guys? Like,
I think so.
Sit down. What? Just
kind of sit down and do. We could talk amongst ourselves, find out who we're working, that kind of thing, and just wait for them to come to us. We not wait for them to come to us. We would go to them, and then they, of course, being them and us being new, would go, hey, we'll get with you when, in a little while. And we'd go, okay, well, this is where we're at, just so they don't have to look for us.
So when do you think it starts to click for you a little bit? Or does it?
It doesn't
ever.
No, it's like we're on the job training now, like literally on the job training. So it's, we just go out there and they kind of let us kind of run a little bit just because we knew a bunch of stuff. And I was more me than Bart, actually. Just wanted to run and do a bunch of stuff, kind of like what kids do now. And they would just let us go. Like, okay, what do you guys want to do? So, and we weren't the one, well, I don't know. What do you want to do? Like, we would go, okay, this is what we do good. and this is like we've been doing. I can run, jump, do anything
But
fast.
still no concept of psychology or where
No,
it puts
hell no.
That's so
and
weird.
so
Like,
the
I can't
cool
wait till I
thing,
go back and watch you being awful. By the way,
yes, yeah. So the cool thing is they let us do all this for a couple months. Like this is how, like they could have told us right from the get go, no, this isn't working, but we would have never learned anything. So they let us just run. They let us go do all our stuff, and I'm going, God, this is so good in my head. Like I'm so good right now, and I'm getting zero reaction. I'm getting a okay, you're fucking really athletic kind of a reaction, not the reaction I'm thinking I really need. Like I'm looking for the Road Warrior 80s pop kind of stuff here, and I'm not getting shit.
Yeah.
So, but they let us do that, and then they went, okay, now let's do this. And it was night
Who's
and
they?
day.
The head shrinkers?
Oh yeah, Salmon Jr. Like we had them for a year. The first year we were here, it was literally on the job training. Hey, take these guys, and they were awesome. Like they are so awesome. Like I owe most everything that I learned in this business up to that point with them, because I think they're so underrated. They were so good.
So within that year, does it click? Like, oh,
It does kind of. I start getting in the groove of kind of now I come out of the, hey, I need to do everything really fast, to learning why I need to do this and when do I do this and how do I do. So now the psychology part starts kicking in and trying to figure that out, which took a little while. That, as you know, that takes a little bit to kind of get.
And stages too, like
Sure.
2 years and 4 years and 8 years.
Exactly.
There's different,
Exactly. And that's something that just doesn't come. Like, and that's what was really cool, because I was learning every single night, and I still do.
Did you have, so like I like the idea of like you were looking for that pop and you weren't getting it. Do you remember, like, was there, like, I don't want to say that first one, but something that like finally like it hits?
Yeah,
you get a
whenever
reaction?
we started kind of rearranging some stuff, like whenever they put it together and went, okay, it was a different kind of a reaction in every town, because people just aren't the same everywhere, and they're going to buy certain things more than they will. Then I started going, oh, I get it. I think. It was only because I didn't know. I don't know.
That's why it's
so
funny.
now so now you come back and we go. So this part, why did we move this part? Why wasn't it working there? It's just because it was kind of like we would just do all our stuff, and then they would do a little, and then and it just wasn't working that way, because there's nobody can follow along. One, I was leaving everybody behind because we were doing stuff so fast. And then, but once you slow down and there's a reason, hey, I'm going to do this to you. You did this to me. I'm going to make it more intense because I'm a heel. You're a baby face. And then it's the heel baby face. Here, I'm going to do this. You're going to do that kind of thing.
Were you into theatrics as a kid or anything?
No.
Isn't it amazing how, like, once you get into wrestling, because I'm picturing in your head, like, oh, you see it as a sport, so you're trying to go really fast and trying to, and then all of a sudden, like, oh, I have to be a theater kid now.
Yes,
right?
a little bit. I didn't look at it like that. It was just things have to make sense, because to me they were making sense because I know a little bit more than the fan. But the fans didn't understand because they're fans and don't know what I'm thinking. I'm just trying to give them what I'm thinking so they don't get it.
Right. Was that Rockabilly next?
Yeah, Rockabilly is next.
Was that the idea of, like...
So the thing is they wanted to split us up because they feel it ran its course. Did
you feel it ran its course?
I do.
Yeah.
I was ready for more. I was ready to kind of expand my individualism. I didn't want to. All I knew was a tag, so I really didn't want to get away from that. It just felt that was the only direction I could go to see how good I was.
But so then my other question is, like, what about Bart? Like, this is a guy that you started in that little shitty gym with.
He was okay because they were still going to do some stuff with him. Like, but there comes a time when you got it, and we hold no hard feelings. There was no hard feelings when we were doing it. It was just one of those things. Hey, it's ran its course. Let's split you up. We're going to do something with Bart. We're going to do something with you, and see who does what.
Then did you guys have like a sit down of like, all right, like?
No, we just did it because we were on board.
Yeah,
So we presented to me to do something completely different, but just fell into the Rockabilly. I came to TV and I was all ready for my new gimmick thing. And
what did you think it was going to be?
I don't know. It wasn't supposed to be that, but all of a sudden it was just like, oh, that's right. We were going to do something with you. Okay, somebody run to Target and get a jean jacket, and somebody grab a Dazzler on the way out the door and start popping little things on there.
But wasn't it done just because Honky Tonk Man was around, or no?
No, he was thrown in the mix because that's where they were going to go. They didn't know what to do. It was literally thought of like that.
Who thought of it?
I have no idea, but I wish I knew. I wish I knew.
Man. Okay, so I did want to, like, you've been open about, like you said, in 2004, you were in a bad place.
Very.
I'm a little bit interested in, like, you could talk about what, but I know you don't care. Like, you'll talk about anything, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, like, was it the life of wrestling? Did you get sucked into wrestling life?
Yeah, so the thing for me was we never, like, I wasn't a pill taker, or I've never not a marijuana smoker or none of that stuff when I came in. But you kind of start getting around that, and things are starting to happen, and you kind of, and I'm not putting it on nobody. This is my addiction is all on me. It is all on me. Mm-hmm. And me getting clean is all on me, and some help from other people. But you find yourself kind of falling into, hey, what are you guys doing? What is that? How does that work? And so you start taking these things because you I guess once you start getting into it, you start finding excuses. Oh, that's why you take it, because we've worked a double shot and we hurt really bad. Or, oh, I need to sleep now because I only have 2 hours. So how do I get, instead of laying here going, I need to sleep now, I need to sleep now. And you know how we've all done it, right? We keep looking at the clock going, God, I wish I could fall asleep. Well, there's things out there that you can take that will make you go to sleep really fast.
But you never, like you said, you never did any of that stuff before. Mm-mm. So, like, I just always find it really interesting. And it's never like me being like, I'm better than anyone, you know, because it's something I've luckily stayed away from. But the idea of that, it switches where it's like before, like for 25 years or whatever it was, it's like you knew better, and now you don't know better.
So not that I never do better. I was never around it.
You're just never around it.
Yeah, I wasn't around any of that stuff ever. Like, I might have been, but I didn't know anything about it because I was just not, because of my dad. Because plus my dad was always a big influence on and he still was up until he passed, but I was out of the house, and now I'm fine because I was so petrified of my dad. If he ever knew I did that, he would absolutely light me on fire. Gotcha. So, and he wasn't a mean person by no means. It was just that vision I had of him. He came over to the States when he was 19 years old from Germany.
Oh, okay.
Him and his mom came over, worked like 10 jobs just to kind of taught his own self how to speak English. So he was that rough German. Loved me to death, though. Was an awesome dude. But I was always petrified of him. Gotcha. I don't know. It's just one of those things that it was a respect, but it was also, hey, these are the rules. You break them, bad shit happens. Mm-hmm. I call you when I call you, and I have to call you again. Duck. But he wasn't ever strict with me. But it was just all in my head, I think.
Okay.
So I was never around that stuff. But then when I get around it, I kind of let myself fall into the trap of a follower instead of a leader. Mm. So, and it's just a thing that I have. I'm an addict. So once I got the taste of that, and then I started like either hurting or being tired or have things that I'm stressing about, because now I'm married, I have a kid at home. So now I stress about that. And what's the easiest way for me to not think about that? Get all hammered and pilled up and shit like that. So now once I get into it, here comes the attitude error. So a little bit before that, I kind of really was just, then all of a sudden the attitude era hits, and we're running 900 miles an hour. Gotcha. Everything all over the place.
So give me a reference of where you were as Billy Gunn the wrestler when you started dabbling. What gimmick was it like?
Like right at the end of Rockabilly. It was just sporadic. It was just, you're just experimenting, but when you're an addict, and I'm not knowing this because it's a disease. It's nothing I can control or do nothing with. I can manage it now because I know how. Mm-hmm. At the time, it was just doing stuff. Oh, well, this makes me feel a lot better. God, I really feel good, and I didn't know there was something out there that could make me feel this good. So that's what grabbed me. That, and then just it's in me. That's some people have it in them. Some people, I know some people that have taken stuff and go, whoa, look. And not, or not ever done it before in their life because they have no need, or do they get pressured into doing it?
Yeah.
Me, I just wasn't that guy, Yeah. So I get into that, and then I'm like, starting to do the the New Age Outlaw stuff, and I don't say I'm with somebody that's an addict, but we're kind of rolling in the same boat, and we both have an oar.
Gotcha.
So, and we're both headed the same direction, and I'm not talking about him. I'm talking about me. But we were together in that kind of situation.
And right in my head, it's just like like the new you guys fucking click, like. Well, not the click, but like it's just everything's clicking on all cylinders. It's finally working for you, right?
Yes, and so I just talk about me is now I think I'm like the shit, so I can do whatever I want, and there's no consequences, right? So now you start grabbing and doing everything.
God, it's like I can envision it like a movie, if that makes sense.
It is, and it exactly was a movie. Yeah. It was like a movie that's real life. Like you're just going. There's nothing I can't get. There's nothing I can't do because everybody wants to be my friend.
Yeah.
Right? Until you either stop doing it or you don't want it anymore, and then they're not your friends anymore. Mm-hmm.
But you didn't clean up until a couple of years ago.
Yes, this is the second time. Okay. I went the first time just because it was kind of, hey, you need to go. There's something, you need to get this problem fixed. And I was like, well, I don't have a problem. I don't know what you're talking about. So I got tired of hearing it. So I went to make everybody happy, which if you know anything about addiction, that just doesn't work. You have to go because you want to go. When I went the second time, I was over it.
I don't know if you talk about, do you like what you were doing?
What do you mean?
I'm kind of interested of like all the shit you were into.
Somas out the yin yang.
Yeah.
Xanax out the yin yang. Painkillers, anything. Oxy, it didn't matter.
And what was it? Is it one of those things where you go to one doctor to the other doctor to the where like that's what I've heard is like you find.
Well, you don't you don't doctor jump. You go find people that have it and you get them. There's people out there. If you're in that lifestyle and like looking for it, you're going to find it. And I could find it.
What's the word for that? Those people, they're
dealers. I don't know.
I don't know the word. I'll figure it out.
Yeah,
they're allowing.
Yeah, but if you want something bad enough, there's nothing that you can't get if you know the right people.
Yeah.
So that was it. I knew all the right people, and that's how I got it all.
And then, I'm not trying to bring up any bad, but it's just interesting to me. I know you're very open. I know you're very
it's
open.
not a bad because I'm in an awesome place right now. I am so easy with this now.
Yes.
I've been clean 5.5 years. I am in such a good place. And I mean, that's what made me who I am today. That going through all that and I wish I wouldn't because I put my family through it and that hurt them. Like I did some stuff to all of them that hurt them, like even to this company. But when I decided, I said, I can't do this anymore. I literally cannot. I can't live like this because I'd wrecked 2 brand new trucks, ran them right dead off in a ditch, rolled them over. I did because I just had no sense of what I was doing anymore.
And that's what I'm getting to.
And I didn't have a job. So
well, that's what I'm kind of getting to is that you did those videos where you talked a lot of shit.
And I did because one, it's, hey, when you fire me, there's no way you can fire me because I'm really good.
Yeah.
And it's really just you and somebody has it out for me. So here's what I'll do. You're going to give me a platform to just let it rip and I'll just blast everybody. And I did. From Hunter, it didn't matter. I wanted to beat up everybody because I was, 1, feeling sorry for myself. 2, I was in that addiction, which doesn't give me an excuse to do it. But when you do that, it's everybody else's fault, never mine. When you're in addiction, it's everybody else's fault and never mine. So I go ahead and blast everybody.
And that's not just addiction, though, because I've had points in my life.
No, it isn't. It isn't. But that's where I was coming from.
That's where you're. Gotcha.
So I understand. There's people that will do it because they're just bitter and just that's what they want to do.
Yeah.
But that's what I was doing it out of. I was doing it out of everybody else. And how do you dare fire me?
Yeah.
I'm really good.
And then, and so when you go back and you get that trainer's job and you get on TV.
So that came after I went through rehab, Came out of there. Like I went into rehab because I was over it. I've had it. I said, please help me. And the office helped. They called. There was no questions asked. Bing, I'm gone. Hazelton up in Minnesota. Greatest facility ever, the people. But I was done. I come out of there. I've got still work to do to kind of stay on the right track. And then I start having one, my wife, two, my kids. And then once they kind of they weren't fully on board because I'm only clean for a little while. It's one of those things where you go, hey, you have to prove this. And I do it every day to prove to her, because I hurt her bad and everybody. Like I left a trail of disastrous shit. But that's why I'm saying how good it is today, because I did everything that they told me to do. They said, just do these things and live your life one day at a time and make amends for stuff that you did. I literally did all that, and I work at it every day. And I went to Hunter. I said, hey, I just want to talk to you. And he even said, well, I never watched any of that. And I went, it doesn't matter. It's me that did it. Now, there are some people that went, I don't give a fuck what you did, and that's okay. Because what I did is I took it off of me and I give it to you, and you don't have to forgive me. Gotcha. You don't, because sometimes you hurt people more than they're willing to risk you again. Of course. But Hunter was never like that. Anybody at the office was never like that.
But you said I have to make amends. Was it more like, hey, this is one of the steps, I got to talk to him, or did it
no,
weigh
it's
on
because
your
I
chest?
want to. It did. It was bad because I realized what I did and why. Because when people bring those up, it still gives me a little bit of shit.
Embarrassment a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit, because I was a complete idiot. So I just want him to know, and it wasn't just to. I never did it to get my job back. That was never ever in the thing. It was, these are things and steps you do to clear myself. Like I don't hold shit back anymore. Like I cry daily nowadays. Really? It's wacky. Like my wife goes, you are such a sissy now.
What are you crying on?
No, it's just because you have feelings. I don't hold that. I don't hold feelings anymore. Gotcha. So I no, I don't cry every day. It was exaggerated. But if I have feelings and I'm sad or something, I let it go. Yeah. Because the more I hold on to it, the more it weighs on me. Hence, I'll want to get rid of it. So that's the easiest way, is to take pills and get rid of it.
And so now, you seem in such a great place.
I am. And I am because I live my life like I'm supposed to. I have an awesome wife that loves me to death. I get to hang out with my kids all the time, and they love me, and I love what I do.
What about the job change? Like, does it take you, does that hurt? Like, do you, not that that's going to drive you to like, jump off the bandwagon or something, but like, how do you look at it, like in terms of like how greatly positive you are now? Like, so now that you're not there anymore, like, do you get like depressed for a second, or like
that I don't have my coaching job anymore?
Yeah. Do you like how I put that like nicely?
Yeah, you did. I like how you just answered. Yeah, the job change. You mean the performance center? I'm trying to figure out how to answer this. Yeah. One, I should have never did what I did, because I don't want to say I'm an authoritative figure or some people look up to me, but yeah, they do look up to me. So I need to set the standard, and I let some people down what I did. So I feel bad because I had relationships all over the performance center, all pretty good, some, here and there, whatever. But I feel bad for them because I feel I took something away from them. Because I love to coach. That's like, I just love it. And I feel that I've let some people down in the performance center by doing what I did, but they're not going to get knowledge. Not that I know everything by any means, but I feel that I'm cheating them somehow. Does that make sense?
By not being there to help.
By not being there to help them to make their dream come true. Like, even if it's a little something I said that made their dream come true. Because there's a couple people that I've trained that are on the main roster now, and you look at them and it's like watching my kids.
You're a proud father.
Yes.
Of course.
And I get, like, me and my wife will watch, like when Corbin debuted and stuff, and Tyler Breeze and them. It's just, holy crap, man.
But I'm saying, like, in terms of your positivity, and obviously it's not driving you to jump on.
Well, because I can't. Because I know what I did and I took it.
Okay.
I know exactly, like, when that happened, Hunter called me and said, hey, and I went, you know what? Yeah. So I did everything I was supposed to do, and I took it all on myself, but I filtered it. So I talked about it and just let it go because I couldn't fix it. I should have never done it, yeah, but I can't fix it right now, and this is how it's going to get fixed. I'm going to get released and have to go away.
Gotcha.
And I go, and I didn't bitch or moan about it because I went, you know what? That's exactly what has to happen. It is. And so I can take that and deal with it and not take it and let it sit on me and weigh me down.
Yeah. Was that your first time coaching?
Yeah.
You
Like
were never
when
a training school guy?
No. When I came back and everybody was good, and I had come back to WWE for the reunion and all that stuff, and everybody went, holy crap. The same thing with Brian. He's so good now, it's not even funny. And he's in a good position right now. So we're both kind of running parallel of us.
You mean Road
addiction stuff. Yeah, Road Dogg, sorry.
Right, yeah.
So whenever they saw us or saw him and saw me and realized how good they were, I had inquired about just going to the Performance Center. So I went there a couple of times as a guest coach because I didn't know I could coach. I had no idea I could. And I had no idea anybody would ever listen to me about what I had to say about wrestling because I was so ignorant to it when I started. But now I know a little something. I don't know a lot, but I know a little something. And so just because you're good at this doesn't mean you're a coach by any means.
Yep.
You have to build relationships. They have to trust you for them to listen to you.
I couldn't agree more on that.
So that's what, and I feel that I kind of got into that, and then they just asked me if I wanted a job, and I went, yeah, I'd love to.
So do you find yourself fiending trying to coach a little bit here?
Of course I do.
Yeah.
Like every time. Like
How are you fixing it?
I'm not really fixing it. I think I get my coaching feel by doing seminars. And watching, like I would rather, I don't watch and go to the kids and tell them what to do unless they come and ask me. Like if they ask me and go, hey, will you watch this and give us, I go, yes. But understand, I give it to you all. If it ain't good, you ain't getting it's good speech.
Right.
That's
a weird fine line too of like approaching someone. Like I'm weirded out by that too. Like, God, like I want to tell this guy something, but I know it's just like
so what you do is there's a little bit of a thing. You just go, okay, I always start off kind of with this stuff that you did good, and then because I've done it this way before. They walk through the curtain. Oh my God, what were you thinking? That was a shit.
Right.
And they just go, buh. And you just kill them, right?
Yep.
Like you just kill their spirit. So I did that a couple times, not really understanding that I thought our relationship was strong enough, but it doesn't matter how strong your relationship is. Anybody that hears that right when they come back, and instead of kind of going, okay.
And we're performers. We're sensitive.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. And some of us a little bit more than others.
Yeah.
So you kind of, and then I go, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Yeah. Because you could see it in their faces. They're so happy about what they did. And you crush them when they come in the back. They literally look like they just melt in front of you, like the Wicked Witch of the East.
I'm glad you, I don't want to say I wish, but like, when I was in that system, we needed you and your... and I always said that, because I was a teacher. I did teaching for 2 years, and I really and I was like I did coaching for girls softball, and
right.
I thought a lot of it hadn't translated in 07, 08 when I was around in the developmental system. So it is important. It's nice that you understand that.
Yeah, no,
and I've heard now just from friends that it's such a nicer place over there now with positive reinforcement. I'm such a big believer in positive.
Like now that I've left?
No.
So I've heard really good things about the place now that you've left.
No, I know. You know what I'm. There was a change in guard. And I'm a big believer in positivity through coaching. And not
you have to, and especially with the kids the way they are these days. Like they're a different breed than what we were, and when we came into it, you expect guys to come and just hammer the shit out of you, and then you go, "Thank you very much for that." But we never took it personally. We just went, "Oh, that's going to make me better." Like now they take it now.
Yeah.
Well, probably you and now that your generation, when you were in, and now take it very
right. But my generation now, the generation takes it rough. Yes, but you understand, the teachers understand the correct teaching principles.
Yes.
But I'm in the middle of you, I'm in the middle of you and the generation now. I'm right in the middle.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So it was I was sensitive to it, but they didn't give a fuck, and so like I hold grudges, like, and so
exactly,
I'll always hold those grudges. I feel, I mean, maybe I release them a little bit, but that's always in my mind of like how people treated me, and you don't forget that stuff,
right?
And you do when someone comes, like you said, when someone comes up to you and says,
So I'm kind of cool with, and I know I left an impression because when everybody gets released over there, the first phone call is me, or if they have something on their mind, they'll call me, which is really cool. Mm-hmm. I think that makes me feel really good that they value me enough to kind of ask me direction, or hey, I'm stuck here. Do you mind kind of just giving me something? What your advice is to do that? Right. So that's really cool.
Nice. Okay, so we're winding down here. You're back on the indies.
Yes.
You work so fucking hard, man. It's so awesome to see.
Thanks.
Especially even just tonight, like I was watching you just fucking chug along, man. You're such a workhorse. It's so cool. And you're available for bookings, right? Mm-hmm. This is the job. This is your job.
Yeah, this is my job now.
Yeah. Where you at on the internet, like the social media stuff?
Real Billy Gunn there, or email Kipsop at Yahoo.
Oh, well, we're saying that, huh?
Yeah. Well, if you want to get a hold of me, don't letting it out there. But I can always delete it.
You don't have like Facebook or Instagram?
I am on Facebook as Kipsop on there too. Okay. Instagram, Real Billy Gunn, and Twitter, Real Billy Gunn.
Oh, nice, cool.
Yeah.
Thanks for being on the show, bud.
Thanks for having me, man. This is awesome.
This was really good.
Yeah. Thanks.
So nice to hear Billy Gunn, and well, I like to think a real good place. He was in a shit place for years, and seems like he's got his head on straight. So that's good to hear. A lot of wrestlers will harp on the guys coming in from football or acting or modeling or whatever, but you got to start somewhere. And I think this is a nice case of a guy starting out as what he was, and then really turning into a thing in wrestling and really loving wrestling. That's kind of what I like the most. That he didn't know what wrestling was, and then absolutely fell in love with the whole idea, everything about professional wrestling. Billy Gunn, thanks for being on the show. Before we get out of here, let's get into some plugs and upcoming events. All right, the place that you can pre-order the Wrestling Road Diaries 3, Funny Equals Money, ColtMerch.com, DigitalColt.com. I'm on Twitter and Instagram at Colt Cabana, Facebook /AOW Podcast, also /Colt Cabana. Past archives of the show are ad-free on Howl.fm. Use the code COLT. Get yourself a free month. ColtWrestling@gmail.com is my very public email. Maybe your promoter want to put me on your upcoming show or convention. I got a YouTube channel. Also, ColtCabana.com is my website. That's where you can find my P.O. Box. Send me some snail mail. Paul O'Brien sent me his novel, Blood Red Turns Dollar Green. Fictional stories about the world of professional wrestling. It's a big book. I'm probably going to give this away at the comedy show the night before Thanksgiving at the North Bar. But he sent it to me, and it looks really professionally done. Upcoming October 21st, 22nd, 29th, November 3rd, and 4th, Tampa, Fort Lauderdale, Baltimore, Arlington, San Antonio, ROHWrestling.com. Thursday, October 27th, Chicago, Illinois, FreelanceWrestling.com. Sunday, October 30th, Gainesville, Florida, TheFestFL.com. Saturday, November 5th, Bedford, Texas, MetroplexWrestling.com. Friday, November 11th, San Francisco, California, AllProWrestling.com. Saturday, November 12th, St. Paul, Minnesota, HeavyOnWrestling.com. Saturday and Sunday, November 19th and 20th, Rahway and Newark, New Jersey, WrestleProOnline.com. Wednesday, November 23rd, Chicago, Illinois, live at NorthBar.com. That's the comedy show with Marty and I. Friday, November 25th, Cleveland, Ohio, AIWrestling.com. Saturday, November 26th, Chicago, Illinois, AAWrestling.com. And Sunday, November 27th, Hamilton, Ontario, Alpha-1Wrestling.com. That is the show for this week. Thank you very much for listening and telling a friend. I really, really appreciate it, especially those guys who have been on board a long time, and even the newcomers. Come on in. Let's everybody be friends. It's a fun community in here. Thanks to Billy Gunn for being on the show. Thanks to Jeff and Stu Stone, Kid Russell, Matt Jenkins on the music, Dane Miller with some tech. We got sponsors, and they're great. HighSpots.com, hundreds of full-length titles available to download, plus an amazing VOD service. Watch PWG, watch $5 Wrestlings. You can get AMA knee pads, gear, masks, and get a wrestling ring from these guys. OneHourTees.com, they help run ProWrestlingTees.com. That's the place where you can directly support your favorite independent wrestler with a t-shirt purchase. And tweakedaudio.com/Colt, the earbuds that I use, get over 30% off and free shipping just because you listen to this show. Wrestling Road Diaries 3, pre-order. I'm shipping it out from my apartment very, very soon. It's a fun one. All three are great. Have you seen 1 and 2? You've seen 1 and 2. Order 2 if you haven't seen 2. I think everyone's seen 1. Order 2. Just to pump yourself up for 3, because it's going to be great. It's going to be so great. I'm excited. You're excited, right? Maybe, am I more excited? Who cares? Let's all get excited. All right. I'm going to calm down. You're going to have a great week. Let's do that together. This has been The Art of Wrestling. This has been The Art of Wrestling. For Colt Cabana, I'm Colt Cabana. Thanks.
I actually still on my phone have the little clip where you asked
Jimmy Wang
Jimmy Yang. You go, what do you think your chances are? And he says nothing and then go, I don't think I have one. I literally have that still on my phone, and because it's in my iTunes somehow, and it'll just randomly come up on my radio when I play it, and it makes me laugh because that was so funny. That whole panel thing was a blast.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.